Good evening. Welcome to Thursday Night Live. I'm Tim, and you are on Ridge Life. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. I am pumped. I hope you're pumped too, because we have a special guest tonight that is sure to entertain. He will educate, he will entertain, and he will enlighten. I am certain of it. I am super stoked. I think Lila Newton may be a little nervous, she says. Lila, are you a little nervous for tonight? I bet you are. Lila was instrumental in setting this up tonight, and I do appreciate you, Lila. Lila is a moderator on Chad's channel. That's North Country Off Grid. That's who we're having tonight, guys. So, Lila, thank you so much for helping set this up. I am, again, super stoked that we will be able to do this tonight. We have got some awesome friends in the house tonight. We've got Simple Life Reclaim. What's up? We've got Brenda Baker. Good evening. Lila Newton, of course. Linda, Jeannie Lipsky's in here. Red Bird Farm. Come on in. K62. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Linda Peterson, Winter Chicken Dinner. Hope you're doing well. Come on in. Alaska Last Frontier Cabin is in the house. Good evening. I appreciate you coming in from Alaska, everybody. Man, I have never been to Alaska, and I really want to visit that state, man. You guys got it going on. Big Wave, Florida, come on in, brother. Hope you're doing well this evening. We got 20 people in here tonight. We are going to blow it up tonight. I guarantee it. At Home with Tom and Rhonda Howard. Hope you're doing well. Come on in. I appreciate you so much. Lots to celebrate tonight, guys. Lots to celebrate. Mary Jemison is in here. Thank you. And Poppy the Good Troll is in here. I like good trolls. Thank you very much. I do see Chad in the background. There he is. I see him right there. All right. And I got to let Chad know ahead of time. I shaved the beard about 2 weeks ago. I feel... I was like, man, if I'd have known I was interviewing Chad, I would have held off just a little bit. So my manliness level would have been a little bit higher compared to Chad, because he's got this, dude's, the man of men. So I'm all, clean shaven city looking beard here. Okay, guys, you know me, that's not how I roll. Okay. Hood's Custom Shop. David, how you doing, brother? Come on in. Simple Life Reclaim says, whoo, let's get this party started. And I have got a list of questions that I am sure you guys are going to want to know the answers to, because Chad from North Country Off Grid, Chad and Shelby, they are in my family that I run with. They are YouTube royalty. Now, they probably don't know too much of us here at Ridge Life and maybe some of the channels we run with, but we know them. Guys, I've been following Chad since late 2018, early 2019. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit, but 44 people in here. And guys, we had almost 400 in our live last week. And I know we will be kicking it tonight as long as nothing else is going on around the YouTube universe. But this is the place to be tonight, guys. This is the place to be. Chad's looking like he's got a really good signal back there. And I'll be bringing him in just a minute. I do want to wish some happy birthdays. Jess from Weibel Family Adventures was birthday was April 15th. Happy birthday, Jess. Daz, Daz has a beard from My Aussie Garden and Kitchen down there in Australia. Daz has the beard now. Happy birthday, Daz. His birthday was on the 19th. Justin from the Swisher Homestead, his birthday was on the 20th. And guys, today, Country Mama Musings, Alicia's birthday is today. Happy birthday, Alicia. I hope you're doing well. If you guys follow her on Facebook, she had a funny story. You guys need to go check that out. Ooh, Lindsay's in here. Hope you're doing well, Lindsay. Come on, Homesteading. Come on with it. Come on. Thanks for coming on last week, David. David drew almost 400 people concurrently on the live chat. So, David, you are the man. I appreciate you coming on. And I really enjoy doing these interview series. So if you have other channels you'd like me to interview, please email me, message me on Facebook, and we will see if we can arrange those. And I am just, again, honored to have Chad on tonight. He is in a place where he has signal, and it worked out really good that he was there on Thursday nights, and that's the night I do my normal live. Hopefully you guys have seen my barn restoration video. It is a work in progress. We got all that old termite, water damage wood out of there, and now it's time to start building that Taj Mahal chicken coop and get that run going. So many cool things going on with that old barn. We love it. Also doing a lot of erosion control. Got riprap Guys, we got 12 ton of riprap delivered. Man, that's going to be some fun. Oh, backbreaking stuff. I'll tell you, that's what that's going to be. And I do want to remind everybody, Bar Run Forge is doing a support a veteran thing. He's got a veteran family he's trying to support. And I can't give you more details, but go check out Troy over at Bar Run Forge. He will have more information about how you can help a veteran family take care of some business. Okay. I'm just going to leave it there. So go check out Troy over at Bar Run Forge. Guys, Shoot Dang Fest is coming up April 29th and 30th, 2 weeks away. They're in Catoosa, Oklahoma. Lots of YouTube channels. I bet there'll be between 200 and 400 YouTube channels, and who knows how many people. And this is just a meet and greet. No special things going on. Just chilling. Thanks for the Crockers and Auntie Ann for setting that up. I do appreciate it. We're going to have a blast the 29th and 30th. Let's see what else we got on the agenda here besides bringing Chad on, which I know that's why you're here, guys. We've got 57 in the house right now. Thank you all for being here. And moderators, watch out for them trolls, okay? They see guys like Chad come on here with patriotism and like-mindedness, and them trolls come in wanting to spout their you know what I'm saying. So moderators, please watch them, people. Time them out as soon as you can. We can contend with them, but man, we're here to hear Chad. That's the thing, okay? Virginia Neely, thank you from Modesto, California, for coming in tonight. Our Okie Homestead, they're a good Oklahoma friend. Thank you very much. And I know when I bring Chad on, he can do some talking and I can rest my voice. Huh? I do want to say one thing real quick. You ain't going to believe what I did less than an hour ago, guys. I got home from work and I took the Kubota side by side down to Grandma Carol's, the log home on the back of the property there. And I was putting up some carpenter bee traps I'd made for her. And I was coming back through the apiary by the barn, and I almost ran into a bee swarm, a swarm of honeybees. And, you know, I caught number one just a week or so ago. And I spent the last hour catching this swarm, getting it down in a box. And I ran in the house and got a shower and everything and got this all set up. So I'm out of breath just from doing all that. And I'm crossing my fingers. I got that swarm in the box and the queens in there. I didn't have time to look at all that. I did get it on film, though. I got a little bit on film. Didn't get stung. That's a good thing. Bruce Swarmstead. I was just talking about the swarm I just caught. So, all right, guys, we are about 7 minutes into it. I normally talk a little bit longer before I bring the guest on, but I want to get Chad in here because I got a lot of questions and I know he's got a lot to say. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring our good buddy Chad on here. Here we go. Chad, how you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going, man? How's my audio?
Audio sounds good. Let me get my speaker here so we don't cause any echo. There we go. All right, my audio, hopefully everybody, that sounds good. Your audio sounds good. Say testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Sound great to me. Everybody, does he sound balanced? He looks clear. I got great video. That beard, man, I can't
believe you gave up, man. You can't quit on a beard. You got to keep it growing.
Well, every fall for deer season, I let it grow a little thicker, and this year I just let it go. And I had the handlebar mustache going on. I mean, not a fancy one, but I was twirling it up, getting it long. Got it down to about right here, and the wife does not like it. She likes to see the lip, and you can only go so long with the wife not liking something. You know what I'm saying? So,
oh yeah, no, I get it.
So that's as far as that went. We'll see what next fall brings. Chad, I appreciate you coming on. Fairly short notice, I think Lila Newton may have gotten in touch with you. And
yeah, absolutely, man. And I appreciate you having me on as well. She said you were a little nervous to ask me, so that's okay.
I appreciate you coming on. I've had a lot of my friends on, and not saying you're not a friend, but I've never met you personally. I've never spoken to you at a meetup or any of those things. You're way up in Idaho. I'm down here in West Tennessee. But man, I followed you for a long time, so I feel like I know a lot about you. I know you know nothing about me, and that's the thing. When you come on a show like mine and you know nothing about me, it's kind of a risk for you. So I appreciate you taking the risk, man.
Well, I looked at your thumbnails and I saw that you don't take your clothes off for clickbait, so that's pretty much my standard, man.
None of that here, man.
Keep it kind of wholesome.
I would have zero viewers if I did that. So. All right, man. So going to get right into this. And stop me anytime if you want to go off in a different direction. If you want to answer a question a different way, you got questions for me, man. This is an open thing here. Okay, we're just chilling here. It is 2 hours earlier. You're Pacific. Was that Mountain Time or is that what
Pacific Standard? I think we're 3 hours, right? I'm 6 o'clock
okay,
here.
It is 8:10 p.m. here right now. 8:10 p.m. Okay. For most of the viewers, I think a lot of you have heard of North Country Off Grid. Chad has been through a lot these last 3 years for sure, a lot, and I have just been enamored watching the different things going on in your life. Some of it I was so angry at, some of it I was rooting for you, and then some of it I was just astounded, just like what is going on up there in Idaho. But start us off by telling us a little bit about North Country Off Grid and how you got your start on YouTube.
So the channel is all about off-grid living. That's originally what it started out as, and then just kind of what I do, which was just homesteading, off-grid living. We were doing it. It was a huge blessing in our life, and so after like a couple years of living off-grid, it's like, let's just show people what a possibility is and see if we can influence people and be that for them. We didn't know anyone moving off-grid, so when we did it, it was just an oddball idea to do. So that's what it started out as, and it just kind of grew from there. And of course, I get into a little bit of firearms, politics. The politics found me, man, but I went at it. That's for the most part, that's the channel.
Okay, and you started YouTube in what year?
Oh shoot, I don't know. If you check my YouTube, Shelby actually started the channel, and she did a video on cooking, and then we didn't post any videos for like months, and there was a year transition there. So I think it says 2006, but I don't think I started till...
Wow.
No, that's not true. I have no idea. You'd have to go check on the channel. I don't know. I know there's a transition there, but I think I've been doing it for about 5 to 6 years now.
Cool. Yeah, my channel, I think we moved out to this property, and I think I did I had a trap set out there, and then I got some bees, and then I didn't do anything with it for about a year. So my channel started around 2018. I really didn't start doing anything until 2019.
Okay.
So I definitely understand how it is. You start a channel for a totally different reason, and then it just morphs into what you got going on now. Speaking of which, something happened. I think it was around 2018 or so. A television show contacted you, or how did that? HGTV, Tiny House, Big Living. What's that all about? You're like a superstar.
It's actually kind of easy to get on those shows. I'm surprised. What happened was we had moved to a new homestead, and we were getting ready to build a tiny house. And I literally went out that day, flattened the land and started to build. And Shelby came out and was like, "Hey, don't build yet. Hold on a second." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? This is build day, right?" She's like, "I messaged HGTV and see if they want to come and film a tiny house build." And I'm like, I was instantly like, "Nah, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to do that stuff." And 2 weeks later, they were out at our property filming us. So wow. It happened that quick.
Wow. And she was the one that initiated it.
Yes, she got me into it. It's her fault.
That's. But again, you were already a homesteader, and you were living off grid previously to that, or was that your first off grid thing you were doing?
No, we were doing it 2.5 years prior to that. So
okay.
we had a property, 2.5 years, put equity into it, sold it, got a new property, and then that's when it all started. I think everyone got to see on YouTube us start the second property, but not the build of the house, because we didn't start doing YouTube until after HGTV left.
Right. Now, one of my great moderators, Cindy Brown, says it was October 28, 2016 is what is on your About tab on YouTube. 2016.
That is a moderator who, hold on, I did something to the... I'm back. All right. That's a moderator who's on top of it.
Oh yeah. We got great mods. I'm sure a lot of them are on your channel too, like Lila. So yeah, Cindy is amazing. So HGTV comes out, they do their thing, and I think I came in just after that. What had happened is I was having some issues with trespassers, and I searched YouTube for trespassing videos because I was super interested in people's approach, and I found yours, man. I found your trespassing videos, like about 1 million other people did, right? Over a year or
Yeah,
two.
that specific video, if it's the one you're talking about, it, like for 3 months, my phone would not stop dinging. It was pretty amazing.
Man, so that's how I got introduced to North Country Off Grid, and then other things. I haven't watched every single episode. I'm truthful here. I've came and gone, with the ebb and flow with my
Hmm.
life and things going on. But I've always been drawn back. You got cattle. We'll get into other things you got going on. But I was always drawn back to what was new in your family's life, and you got so much too. It's pretty amazing. For people who don't know, Chad and Shelby, North Country Off Grid, North Idaho, off grid homesteading, tiny house, a lot going on, and we'll get into different specifics of that. So, how did the family like off grid living? Shelby, the wife, you got 3 kids, right? 2 daughters, 1 girl.
I've got 2 daughters and 2 boys
I'm
now.
boy. I said boy. Yeah, I'm sorry. And
Yeah, yeah.
2 boys now. Yeah, yeah. So didn't always have all the kids, but how did the family like off grid? Were they super gung ho about doing it, or what was their background in off grid, or did you introduce them to it?
There was absolutely zero back. We didn't, like I said, we didn't even know anyone who lived off grid. It was just sort of this idea of what, like, hey, we could go do this. And we lived in town and had a house and in a neighborhood and thought it was a great idea from afar. And it grew old on us. So Shelby was very supportive about going and doing it. And if you ask her now, she'll tell you I didn't totally know what I was signing up for. But it was such an adventure, and it was almost like an extended camping trip. And the kids were so young, and we instantly got animals, so it just became so fun for them.
Oh yeah.
And now it's definitely all my youngest daughter knows, because she was 3 when we did it. So she takes to the country, man. She loves it.
So, how many acres did you originally have at that location in 2018, 19?
The first 2 were 20-acre lots, so both
Okay.
homesteads were 20 acres around here.
And that was in Bonner County, is the one before you're in now, right?
All 3 of them were Bonner
Oh,
County.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, Bonner County. So, what made you move from this to where you're at now? What was the onus that got you where you're at now, that property?
So the reason we left was a developer came in and he bought up everything around us. So we knew what it was going to be. Our market right now is absolutely ridiculous. So it was just, everything sort of came together. It's a great time to leave. We're going to make money on the place and be able to buy something further out. And nobody wants to live in a development. So it was just time to go.
And at that last property, so I was, following your trespassing, you were clearing land, and then something happened with assessors, and you were getting things in the mail. You were having to go up and speak to council members and stuff. Can I explain to our viewers what was that all about?
So I was pretty oblivious to this. I thought you could buy land and go out and build, and that was acceptable. Unfortunately, through a lot of the videos that brought people to the channel, like that trespassing video, it brought a lot of county employees to my channel as well. And unfortunately, one of them decided to turn me in, even though he said he was a fan of the channel. He was just doing his job. He decided to turn me in, and it caused a lot of hell for us. It was a huge learning experience, and honestly, it was such a blessing because I dug into it, because instantly I'm like, well, I'm going to fight back. So I dug in and found out so much of what we're allowed to do, not do, how the county works to try and bust you in your homestead. And I was able to just educate tons of people, because most people don't want to read codes and laws or go to their local meetings and find out how that stuff operates. And I went at them full bore. I went right into their office. I stuck a camera in their face. I exposed the things that they do that were dishonest, and found out a lot about codes and how much they break their own codes to try and get you for breaking their codes. It's ridiculous, but it ultimately boils down to an issue of liberty when it comes to private land ownership, and then where you're going to stand, whether or not you're going to capitulate and grab their permits because they tell you to, or you're going to try and gain ground for personal liberty.
And then to find out they were using Google Earth to look at what you've built, and then even drones. They were using drones?
No, so they couldn't see inside my property, and when they said, well, a neighbor turns you in. I was like, they didn't. And so I went and asked them, can you guys use drones? Because the only thing they would have been able to do was fly a drone up over my trees because it was 360 degrees of security. That I found out that they can't do it. There's actually a law preventing them from using drones, at least in our state. So from state to state, county to county, that's something people have to look into.
And then at one point, they actually came on your property. I mean, your gate's not like at your front door. You gotta intend to go on up to your property. They go up to your
the county never came into my property. I had a let's see, after the county planning and zoning wanted to, we always stuck a gate up. And we always put no trespassing signs on our property. And those are, in the state of Idaho, that's a stiff law. Nobody can come through those. The only time a sheriff can come through those is in pursuit of somebody. Sorry, these guys behind the camera just distracted me. Hang on a second. Where was I?
So the county didn't come on your property.
The county didn't come onto my property, but they then sent tax assessors to try and come onto my property.
Yep.
And those tax assessors actually came onto some people's property. That guy sent me the video of it, and he'd been hanging on to it for a while. And I exposed that. And the county assessor actually, I don't know the details of it, but they got sued for a Fourth Amendment violation. The guy won. Wow. But he can't talk about it, and I don't know the details of it. But I do know that because of that video, that guy got some justice.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, you're bringing back memories now because I watched it on your channel. But you're right; it was like an open garage, and they were walking around it or something. Yeah, that was just blew my mind. That can go on. It's like we bought our property here in West Tennessee, and we have a lot more county codes and all that than apparently in Idaho, and. We had less than 10 acres, and we bought like 30 acres in the back. We built a log home for my mom to retire in, and I've learned a lot from your channel, and we were trying to get prepared for codes and people coming through the gates. Because one time, and I was so mad, the county assessor went through our gate that had 2 no trespassing signs, came all the way up to the build site. My mom was living in a camper trailer. On the build site, he came up and started saying, "Oh, how many square foot you gonna have? What's the thing gonna be?" Was not invited. Was just walked on up.
Yeah, so I don't know where your state stands with that, but luckily for us, we have very strict no trespassing laws, and those only came into effect a couple of years ago. And it was actually an outside influence of these brothers from Texas who were buying up tons of land. From like paper companies and stuff, and they wanted to stop people from coming onto their land, even though they're just rich land barons, right? So it actually came from something bad, and they made it to where it's a very strict no trespassing law. So what came from that is you can be arrested your first time trespassing, not just a verbal warning. And then 2, they made it to where if you are trespassing, you are essentially, by law, a threat to that landowner. As the saying goes, dead men tell no tales. So if you were trespassing and someone shot you and you didn't have the ability to give your side of the story saying, hey, I wasn't there to be a threat, the law now sees it as that person was a threat, but we don't get to hear from them.
That's Idaho, man. You guys got that part right. Down here, it's like the property owner is secondary in property rights. The government has, authority. I mean, game wardens just come on willy-nilly, regardless what the Supreme Court has said. Game wardens just what Oh, I heard a shot. Must be something illegal going on.
Yeah, that's something you gotta go to your state representatives, man, and work to get that stuff changed, because that's the only way to do it. The federal government is never going to feel sorry for you and decide that your argument's good. So you really got to get those laws changed.
People in the chat, if you have questions for Chad, make them in all caps, and moderators will help. If you see a question like that in all caps, let me know. Kind of repeat it for me. I do have a list of questions, but I'd love the viewers to get to ask Chad questions as well. And we'll take a little break here at the end if we have time to make sure we get a lot of the viewers' questions in as well. I've got questions here though that I've just been dying to ask. Okay, so you're at the new property now. What do you like most about the new property, and what do you miss about the old property?
The new property has completely different species of forestry, which is super cool. I went from jack pines, which no one loves, to cedars, and some bigger larch, some bigger fir, stuff like that. I didn't move that far, but I just kind of moved into this new ecosystem, which I love about that. We also have some creeks and some ponds on the property, so having water is always a blessing. That's probably my favorite stuff. That, and we moved into grizzly country, which excites me just a hair.
Wow, yeah.
What I don't like
changes the gun you carry around with you, right? A little bit, the caliber.
Gives me an excuse to buy more. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What I don't like is before we had no neighbors. I had one neighbor and really liked him. Now we have people that live closer to us, and that, to me, that's not a plus.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so the old property was more reclusive. You were protected a little bit more, and of course that new property is more conducive to Virginia Neely's question. What kind of animals do you have on your homestead?
So right now we've been changing up our animals. We actually decided to get out of goats. I've got a few more I got to get rid of. So right now we have cows and we have chickens, and I think we're going to keep it at that for right now. I'd like to grow the cow herd because I enjoy the cows. They're bigger, but they're hardier, and they kind of become easier to take care of.
And what the Highland cattle? What was your? I plan on getting some Highland within the next 2 years. That's on my homestead list. What's some advice you could give me on raising Highlands?
Man, you know what? For me, we got younger animals, and it was to make them a very gentle herd. So Shelby she always laughs at me, but anytime we get a new animal, I will go sit a chair in their pen and drink my coffee, eat my lunch. Like, I'll just hang out with them all day the first day and just stare at them. Did the same thing with pigs too. But the idea is to just gentle the animals, right? So that you have an easy to use and easy to deal with herd. I can go into my herd, I can move around them. They know I'm not going to hurt them, so they don't hurt me, and they're very capable of hurting you. So really just their mannerisms are, it's such a bonus how gentle they are.
Gorgeous creatures. Now, Cindy Brown, David Hood's question, I have that on my list. I will be asking that very, very shortly. All right. You kind of changed your channel's tone, and like you said, you were kind of this kind of came upon you. There was a lot of unrest going on in the Northwest, and you got fired up. Minutemen, there's the term Minutemen, patriotism, and what was being done in the Northwest. Kind of explain to us how your channel evolved there and how you got involved in all that.
Yeah, so it all started, if you go back to, my drama with the county, it actually all started there. I just didn't talk to people about it. What happened was we started going at it with the county, and we felt very alone in that whole thing. It felt like it was us versus them and whoever else, right? So every car that went by, every noise that you heard, I just became increasingly paranoid about it. And of course, in the videos, I think it was probably reflective of my attitude, my tone. And I personally just take trespassing very personal. I take it serious. And I know that there's people who accidentally come across lines. I get that. But when the county's doing it and being abusive, I'm going to stand on my rights and what the law allows. So it became an issue. And I think my language actually attracted a state organization called Idaho Real 3%ers. Those guys reached out to me privately. And I didn't talk about this when I was going through the issues with the county because I didn't want to create an issue and then bring some organization into my problem.
Right.
But basically what happened is they said, hey, we're watching your situation. We want you to know you're not alone. And if at any time you feel threatened, go for it. Anytime you feel threatened, or your family feels threatened, you let us know and we'll come camp out a whole group of dudes on your road. So in that moment, that organization had our back when we felt very alone. And so what happened is as soon as all of the county stuff was over with, I talked to that organization and I joined it, and I've just been trying to build it ever since.
Awesome. Yeah, I followed it intently during that phase for sure. Nobleman's Exchange 499 super chat. Thanks, gentlemen, for sharing your journey with us. We appreciate you following it with us. I mean, it's our lives. We share it on YouTube, and we're just thankful. I know I'm not speaking for Chad here, but I'm just thankful you guys are interested at all.
I'm always surprised people are interested, to tell you the truth.
All right. Now, at one point, you became almost one of those reporters on the spot during Antifa rallies and movements, and you were standing there with your brothers, man, just being a line of patriotism. How tense was that? Were there ever any moments that didn't quite make it to YouTube, or?
Not really, man. Honestly, so you didn't see all of it, right? Because it was essentially a week of that. And I was one of the first. There was probably about 25 guys who showed up the very first night when this threat kind of made its way through the patriot circles, And what happened is there were guys who went to Spokane, which is the neighboring city in Washington. They went over there, and while they were there, watching people break windows, trying to set fires, they heard people say, "Let's go to Coeur d'Alene." And these guys were all Idaho dudes, so they're like, "Oh, let's get back to Coeur d'Alene." So they came back, hit the Patriot hotline, called a bunch of dudes up, and we went down there that first night. But the intel that we got, right, was there was a large amount of guys coming. And so I think I dialed up like 6 buddies, right, and we rolled down there. And the most tense moment was going down there not knowing what we were going into with just a handful of dudes. It was kind of that kiss your wife goodbye moment. The rest of it as it developed, man, there were thousands probably of patriots down there armed to the teeth. You knew nothing was going to happen. The day 2 and 3 when I was taking videos, I was carrying a sidearm, right? I was just taking video. There was no need really to be armed. There were too many patriots in the house, so I was just down there trying to document it.
I mean, what was the worst going to happen? Some guy with a man bun's going to throw a latte in your face?
Yeah, well, these guys are getting pretty crafty, honestly, with their Molotov cocktails, or one of them hits you with, alcohol or whatever, and the other one lights you on fire. We can learn from these other protests and see what their tactics are, but it's dangerous, man.
What does it mean to you to be a patriot?
Oh man, for me, I feel like it's our duty, right? Like, and it's not even mine to have. I feel like this country is not mine. I feel like it was built and founded by people we owe it to maintain it that way. So for me, I feel like a debt. I feel like I owe it with everything that I do, and that's honestly the biggest reason why I actually ran for legislator, because I can't come up with too many other reasons why I would even want to do it.
Okay. Perfect segue. That's the next question. We've had several people in the chat ask. You decided to get involved with state legislature. Kind of tell us about that process, and then everyone wants to know, where are we at right now? We saw your last video about it. So kind of how'd you get into it? What was your intent? And then update, if you can.
So paying attention to politics and really understanding how important local government is. The local level, the county commissioners, the city council, that is right now the politics, that is the battlefield. And a lot of people aren't willing to get into that battlefield, but right now that's where it's being fought. So the local politics, I mean, that is where it's at. It's not about, it seems like we've lost the country, but on a state level, especially for the state of Idaho, there's still room to be able to save what is left of the state. So getting involved in that was just one of those things where if I don't do it, I'm sitting around waiting for someone else to do it. And from the representation we've had prior, I shouldn't be sitting around doing it. I need to throw my hat in the ring. And honestly, I would much rather be there as a support system than be, the tip of the spear when it comes to politics. But that's the next step of where patriots need to start stepping up and get involved. And once you're involved in it too, you really realize how dumb people are who are now in this position. They're not smart people. They're not people who are well prepared at being a politician. They're someone looking for an easy paycheck, and then they're just in there figuring it out. So really anyone can run. And I knew that with my channel, I knew that just being around town, having some notoriety, some name recognition, I knew I had a good chance of winning. And so I jumped in and started meeting people, and people were rallying behind me quick, man. I really was getting the support of North Idaho. It was fantastic. Just so many people who wanted a regular Joe in there, who was doing it for the right reasons. And that just happened to be me at the time. And my buddy Todd's still running too. They left him in. But update-wise, guys, I am out of the race. They said, hey, you are just not eligible. Unfortunately, they got me on a 10-year technicality. I got sidelined for a while, and I've got some other stuff going on so that I can still play a part. But I'm out. There's just not much I can do about it until in a year and a half I could run again.
It just seems that the technicality, guys. So he has always been in District 1. I think you said it was District 1.
Correct.
He's lived his entire Idaho life, or his YouTube life is all this in those areas. Never moved out of it, but now with redistricting and stuff, you've only lived in your current place a year or so. Therefore, you didn't meet the qualifications to run for office, even though you've lived in that district for over 3 years.
No, it was actually the voter registration card. It wasn't updated for a year, even though right. I could have provided a mountain of proof to show where I lived, how long I'd lived there, but they don't care. But right. So silver lining, right? We found this loophole through the most narrowest of means. We found this loophole, but through it, I realized that if I had not updated my voter registration card, I actually could have represented a district that I didn't actually live in, which is the definition of taxation without representation. Yeah, I mean, we went to war over taxation without representation. Part of the puzzle, right? But the Idaho SOS allows it. I brought it up to them. They don't care. And I actually found out from some other people that it's kind of business as usual in some other places because they have representatives who do that intentionally to represent an area that they don't live in.
If we don't get involved, and I'm dealing with this a little bit here too. I started buying, the property behind me, and I'm trying to buy the property on either side of me. The county commissions and stuff, they just want land money. They want people. They want those places to come in, buy that property, build the stick house, right, with the little cul-de-sacs, and that's all they want. They want more tax revenue. They want more people to vote for them. And if we don't get involved, that's where our country's headed. I appreciate your service, man. That's I look forward to seeing you in a year and a half. You said so. The next round.
No promises, man. We'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna run. I've got people already who are asking me to do something. I don't know. It's something I definitely don't want to do. I don't look forward to it. Hopefully, I can find something to still be effective without having to wear a suit and tie.
Oh man, yeah, I feel you there. Cindy Brown asked, or Trish Kane had asked. Cindy Brown's reminding me. When looking for land, what are some things a novice should start looking at? What are some key elements to looking for land?
Location's probably a big one, right? You definitely want to be happy in your location. Try to maybe kind of pre-vet neighbors, that sort of thing. Really decide what it is you're going to use that land for. If you're looking to live on it, you're going to need water. So can you get water? Can you drill a well? Around here, it's like a year wait plus for wells. So you can't just buy a chunk of land and sign up for the well list. So that's something to think about in your area. And then right now, it's so expensive to buy. It's hard to buy land right now. It has jumped up so much, at least in our area. I'm not sure about where you're at, but it's terrible to buy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, adding on to that, definitely location, resources near you. What if you can kind of look at permitting, what's being built around you. Are you going to have a mall in your backyard 3 years from now? These are all things. The taxes. I moved from a Shelby County, which is near Memphis, Tennessee, which was like crazy. I moved out to Fayette County, and I pay like nothing in taxes, like nothing. And but I want to keep it that way. Simple Life Reclaim says 1776 super chat for the cause. Thanks, Mel and Gary. I appreciate that. 1776 super chat. That's pretty cool. All right. Next question. Let's see here. preparedness. That's another big part of your channel, and I've been following the last series you're doing on preparedness. You give instruction, you give recommendations. Um, it's a big part of your lifestyle. It's not just raising livestock and living a simple life. You are big into preparing for whatever this future may hold. Where did you get your training? Where did you get your start in that kind of preparedness? And what's something my viewers can learn from you about that?
I think developing, for one, I'm from North Idaho, so everyone's a little paranoid anyway, right? And you're always thinking about, this area specifically. Every once in a while, the government shows up and pisses everybody off, so you got to be prepared. I think just moving onto a farm and then understanding, like, you can't just run out of animal feed and then get to the store the next time. You have to have, the next bag of feed coming up. Same with firewood, right? You can't just run out of firewood. You have to have that cut and ready for you for the weather, because, honestly, it's a life or death situation.
You mean natural gas isn't going to be readily available continuously during FH,
Yeah, no, I don't. And then you throw in the scenario base, right? When you look at other countries, I look at other countries. I know that we are a first world country, and you look at third world countries, but sometimes governments collapse, sometimes economies tank. When those things happen, you should at least be aware of the game plan. You should at least be aware of how that unfolds and then what that means for people. And when you start to see third world problems coming to a first world country, you should start paying attention to that and at least have a game plan. So that's the preparedness mindset.
Mm-hmm. And have you always had that mindset, or where did you start learning these skills?
So I grew up hunting, right? And in hunting, you're prepared. You're prepared for the weather. You always bring layers. You always bring an extra whatever. You pack your lunch. You just prepare for your day out in the woods. And I've gone hunting. I swear to God, I've gone hunting before, and I forgot my boots. I had to go out in my slippers. I don't know how I did it. I was young. But I did it. You just have to be prepared for those things, right? You're waking up really early in the morning. You pack your bag the night before. And so you just have this, okay, let me think through the day. What am I going to need? What happens if I get an animal down? What happens if I have to stay out there all night? So you're talking about logistics. You're talking about communication. You're talking about food, medical training. I saw medical training just come up. That's something. What happens if you break something up in the woods, so as a young man, that is the way I came up, because I came up hunting.
Awesome. Well, speaking of livestock, moving into the preparedness realm, if you had to pick one animal to sustain your homestead in a situation where you couldn't just run to the grocery store, what one farm animal, livestock, homestead animal would you choose?
Oh, that's going to be a mix between goats and chickens. Probably, you know what? I'll go with goats. If we're giving you guys advice, I'm going to go with goats.
Okay.
At least where I'm at, you can turn goats loose and they'll feed themselves year round. There's enough there. In fact, it's what we did. With chickens, they need help over the winter time. Otherwise, they will die off. But goats are really hardy. They're not a huge amount of meat on the hoof. So a goat is great. They reproduce like crazy, and you can get milk from them. So I would say a goat is probably one of the best animals you could start off with.
Awesome. Now, you've got 4 kids now, right? 4 kids,
Correct.
Not goat kids, people kids.
Correct, yeah.
And raising these kids in this environment, what are the most important skills you see as a parent to raise kids in this environment? What skills? Now, it doesn't have to be just survival skills or preparedness. What life skills do you think are the most important as a parent today?
I think the biggest life skill, and honestly, for me, the priority is a life skill. It's teaching them how to be capable, teaching them how to just be able to do something. If you want something, go do it. If you want to build something, figure out how to build it. Taking care of animals, having that responsibility at a young age just teaches you how to care for something, and then that relationship of, if I don't put in the work, it'll die, right? So I think it really teaches them responsibility, but it teaches them that that just simple lesson of, if you want it done, go do it.
Turning this around real quick, we've gone through this, kind of started off with YouTube. Now, what's your favorite part of being a YouTube creator?
Across the board, my favorite part of being a YouTube creator is absolutely influencing people. I absolutely love it when people tell me that because of me they moved off grid. Because of me, their family went out and did it. Because I know what a blessing it is to take a family from the city and take them out into the country. It is a night and day difference of a lifestyle. It's night and day values, goals, life lessons. I appreciated it so much that I just hope that I could pass that blessing on to anybody. And so when I get those emails, those ones are my absolute favorite. I love when people tell me they went and did it.
Now, when I started YouTube, it was more to share stuff with family and then to put information out there. But for me, when I started developing a community and being part of a community, a lot of my friends on here, Simple Life Reclaimed, Country Road Cure, Come On Homesteading, what we call it family. It's friends that are family, and it's a strong bond. And they're in Arkansas, and it's a good little distance from me, but like-minded people coming together, and that is so important, because in this society, there's not that many around me. I live near Memphis, Tennessee. Not many like-minded people in that county. It's scary. It's scary. Now, what's one of the biggest negatives of being on YouTube in your opinion?
I think one of the biggest negatives is the negativity that comes out of the comment section. For me, messing with the county, right? Like, just exposing that caused so much grief for me, but so much good came out of it that I would do it again, honestly. It's the negativity. For me, I'm thick-skinned, right? I've only ever banned 2 people from my channel ever. Awesome. That's a lot of hate. But for my wife's not built for that. She doesn't want to hear that stuff. To hear people threaten our family, for me, again, it just wasn't a big deal to me, but for her it was a big issue. So that negativity of people was hard, and that's why you don't see Shelby on the channel as much. She just she got over it. She loved to be there for people. We would go out and we would meet people, but the negativity of reading the stuff, she quit reading the comments a long time ago, which is unfortunate, because so much of the relationship is in the comments with people. Yep. And it's one of the things that I valued the most. But yeah, man, just that negativity in the comment section of just miserable people.
Because a lot of people, they come for your personality, they come to learn from you and stuff, but a lot of it is that family aspect. I know whenever my wife is ever in the video, it just like changes the entire scope of the video. People are drawn to it more because they see a family and not just a guy up there talking, demonstrating something. It's a family thing. So for a lot of my friends here in the chat, we've got 121 here right now. Thanks everybody for bringing here. We'll get thousands on the replay, I'm sure, for this video. What's for the YouTube creators out there? What is the one piece of advice for someone starting a YouTube channel? Not necessarily just in this genre, but what's a YouTube piece of advice that Chad would give them? They're just starting.
Honestly, would be to be genuine. A lot of people will, I've seen them, you've probably seen them, they will create a channel and it doesn't do well, and then they will start to sell their soul, which is sad for me to watch. In the end, it's about money, right? So that's probably why you're failing. Be a genuine person, and it's not going to be for everyone. Not everyone's going to have a successful channel. You have to have a little bit of personality or kind of crazy to it. But at the same time, some of my favorite YouTube channels are just your normal people. There's nothing extraordinary about them or comical. The videos aren't staged. You just sit and listen to someone talk and be themselves, and that to me is what makes my favorite channels up.
Absolutely. I mean, you can tell when someone doesn't enjoy what they're doing on YouTube that they want to try to make everyone happy, and in doing that, you make no one happy. It's sad. Be yourself. Enjoy what you're doing on YouTube, and people that like that, again, that like-minded people mindset will be there. Speaking of influences, I'll put you on the spot here. What are some YouTube channels that have been an influence to you?
Hands down, Stony Ridge Farmer has been the biggest channel influence in our career. And it was because when I first started, I wanted to do this tractor video. And I actually bought this tractor based off of Josh's, here's the list to go through. But I wanted to call and ask him if it was okay if I said his name, because I didn't know if that was acceptable, right? So I'm like, hey man, I watched your video. Can I link your video? Is that okay? And from that moment on, man, he was giving me advice, talking to me about because he's huge on analytics, right? And so he watches the ebbs and the flows and is like, hey, this works, that doesn't work. And him and I have been buds ever since. So he's been the biggest channel. He's been the biggest blessing to our channel because I have not had to learn the hard way as much as he did. And he's just a great guy, wealth of knowledge, and an absolute character.
He's actually one of the first channels I started watching on YouTube. I got on YouTube. I really wasn't a YouTube watcher. I was a creator, really didn't watch much YouTube. Then I started figuring out this community thing, and Josh was the one. He was a not farmer learning to farm. He was a nurse. Him and his wife were both nurses. And I was like, man, I've got a lot to learn, and this is the guy who's making the mistakes. I'll learn from his mistakes and I'll be better at when I do it the first time. So I followed him for years, still do. I love Josh. Matter of fact, I'd love to get Josh on this interview. So I tell
you what, man, I'll absolutely, I guarantee you I can get you on, get him on your channel. Yeah. I'll give you guys a little tidbit, a piece of information that he shared with me. I thought it was funny, but if you ever go back and watch Josh's very first video that he made, we joke about it, but he opened up with, it was like, hey y'all, welcome back, and it was his very first episode. I think that's so funny.
That's awesome, man. All right, so let's see here. Question asked, do you see any benefit of putting your homestead in an LLC, limited liability company? Did you see any benefit to that?
Yeah, I mean, sure. There's, if you're running a farm, you have animals. If someone visits, having that insurance, having that separation between your private entity and the business, that's probably a really good idea. Yeah, I'd say, yeah, do it. Why not?
All right. We have a few minutes left. I want to play a game with you. I promise this won't embarrass you or anything. I want to do a word association game. I did it with my last person I interviewed, and
I might get in trouble with this.
Now, this word association game is the first thing that pops in your head. Okay, it's just whatever pops in your head first. And I actually don't have any words written down, so I'm just going to throw words that pop in my head, and you pop into your head. So I'm going to start. The first word is wife.
It'd have to be my wife.
Okay, your wife. Okay, all right. Next word is education. First thing that pops in your head.
Learning. I'm sorry. Am I ruining this? Learning was the first word.
No. Just again, it's just the first word that pops in your head. It kind of gives the people. This is an unscripted look at the mind working of Chad from North Country Off Grid. Okay.
It's just repeating what you're saying.
You're a thesaurus tonight.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey, you're very versed in. Okay. Let's see. Family.
My family.
All right, no problem.
We're not going out with a bang if this is where you're going to end it, man.
Hey, no,
terrible.
Linda Peterson said this is great. There you go. All right. Let's see here. Work ethic. That's two words I know. Work ethic.
Farming.
Okay, there you go. If you don't have work ethic, you are not going to be a successful farmer. If you don't, I can't get up today. Oh, it's a little bit rain. I can't get out there. Oh, that tractor is just too hot. Man, you're done. You might as well go back to the office and start typing, all right?
Yep, gotta love it.
All right, let's see here. Childhood.
Fun.
I
got in a lot of trouble as a child, man. I had a great time.
See, you associate trouble with fun. That's people,
yeah. You get away with it then. Get away with it. I actually got pulled over on the way to work today.
Oh, you had a video getting pulled over multiple times, and that was I watched that just the other day again. And it's like, dude, doesn't that just
It was so funny. They were just out in force, but I mean, it was 5 minutes in between. We basically got pulled over, went up the road, and they got us again. It was so funny. And then I asked the guy if he smelt Fruit Loops because I had Fruit Loops beard oil, and he was just right in my face.
Fruit Loops beard oil, guys. There, you heard it first, right here.
Good stuff.
All right, let's see. Coffee.
Minutemen Coffee.
Minutemen Coffee. That's
Minutemen Coffee. You guys go check it out. The guy's out of Central Washington. Super good patriot. When Black Rifle was just shitting on people, that guy's business boomed like crazy, and he is a from the ground patriot. Support his business. Minutemen Coffee.
All right. Let's see here. Second Amendment.
Yeah, top.
That's right.
It's the top one, guys. Without the second, you've got none of them. Absolutely, across the board.
Everything.
Yep.
And
100%.
it wasn't. Yeah.
It's not about squirrel hunting, ladies and gentlemen. It's about taking care of tyrants.
Absolutely. If people don't understand that it's not about deer hunting, okay. All right, don't get me started. We could go on this all night long. All right. Well, Chad, I'm going to let you off on that one right there, okay? I appreciate. We are 56 minutes into this. Well over 100 people in the night. Again, we'll have 1,000 or more for sure in the replays. I'm going to ask all my friends out there to share this video. North Country Off Grid. 125,000 subscribers you got now, Chad?
Yeah, somewhere around there. You know, my goal was to hit 100,000. I quit caring after that, and I still didn't get my play button. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, the channels I know that they were about 125 when they got their play button. They were about 125. Okay. Yeah, so you're probably right around in there. Did they give you your associate representative yet?
No.
Yes, you're supposed to get a YouTube person assigned to your channel to help you succeed. That should come along with that play button.
That's what Josh told me as well. I haven't talked to anyone. No one sent me an email.
They probably watch your channel and are scared.
Yeah, it might be a little too hot sometimes.
Well, I appreciate all of you, the viewers in here tonight. We got a few of your questions asked, and I noticed a lot of the questions you were asking were on my list, so that's how we got that going. Chad, thank you so much for being on here. Tell Shelby, RidgeLife said hello. Lila Newton said hello. Ton of the viewers said hello. We hope we appreciate Shelby and all she does to support you. I know if you're like me, we can't do nothing without the women behind us. That's for sure.
100%. Yeah, absolutely, man. And I really appreciate you having me on, man. I'm glad Lila broke the ice for us.
She said she was more nervous than anybody. So
yeah, she messages me all the time. I don't know why she'd be worried about asking.
We love Lila Newton. Me and my family channels here, we love Lila Newton.
Yeah, she's good people.
Thank you, Chad. I appreciate everything you do. Keep doing what you're doing, and I will be there to watch. All right.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, guys. And make sure you come by, hit the subscribe button. Help me find that play button.
10-4. Take care, Chad. Guys, wow. Boomage. That was totally amazing. Chad was a perfect host or guest. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed that myself. I could have had this turned off and just had this conversation with Chad myself. Luckily, you guys got to be a part of it. Yes. Good interview. Yes. Chad. It was all Chad. And it sounds like Chad's going to get me hooked up with Josh from Stony Ridge Farmer. Will y'all come back to watch that? Will y'all come back to watch Stony Ridge Farmer here live on RidgeLife? That would be totally amazing. So I appreciate Josh for sure. And thank all of you. I appreciate your patience. Again, we have 132 people in here, and it was an awesome night. I can't believe I just caught a swarm of bees right before this live started. I barely had time to get in the shower, and I'm crossing my fingers. I got the queen in the box. I think I did. So Linda Peterson, no winner chicken dinner tonight as far as a giveaway, but we're all winners when we got to speak with Chad. So winner chicken dinner for Lila or for Linda Peterson there. Pettit Jean, River Homestead, hope you're doing well. Thanks for Little Southern Brothers has been in the house. Thanks for coming in. And Dale Homestead, thank you so much. The Kramer Life, yes, Kramer Life. I'm going to be talking to you. You're a little bit far on the Tennessee side. I'm here near Memphis, but I would love to maybe get you on a live stream and interview the Kramer Life. They are up and coming, guys. If you haven't checked out the Kramer Life, please, moderators, if you can, drop in the Kramer Life into the link into the chat. I'd appreciate it. They are awesome. Great people. Brian, the Vineyard Farmhouse. See you soon at Shoot Dang Fest, Catoosa, Oklahoma. I hope everyone gets to come in there and visit everyone. Bigfoot Farmer, what's up, brother? Man, Bigfoot Farmer is back at it, guys. They are jumping back into YouTube, and I can't wait to see what Bigfoot Farmer has in store for us. Pat Riccaboni, have a great evening. Thank you very, very much. Working with Wiley, Jen and Wiley. Hope you're doing well. K62. I appreciate that. Simple Life Reclaimed. That was very, very nice of you. Thank you. And Dale, you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And I'm going to go I haven't eaten dinner yet. I came in, did the work for grandma, got the bees, and took a shower, came straight here. So I'm going to go eat some food and relax a little bit. I got to get up at 4:20 in the morning. So until next time, guys, I hope everyone has a blessed evening, and